Recently, there have been plenty of concerns about the future of our planet, specifically involving our energy sources and consumption. Our energy demand has been rising over the past couple of decades by about 3% every year. As the human population is growing exponentially, the U.S. Energy Administration projects the global energy use to increase by 40% by 2040. Unfortunately, most of the energy used come from non-renewable sources, which will eventually run out and never be replenished. Non-renewable energy consumption involves the burning of fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum, oil, and natural gas. Fossil fuels are not always readily available due to them taking millions of years to form. In addition, they can only form under certain cases, requiring dead organic matter from the remains of living organisms to deposit at the bottom of the sea and alter under extreme heat and pressure conditions over time. Fossil fuels are highly sought over energy sources because they have a very high energy density, but they pose many risks to our environment and in turn to our own health. As more and more fossil fuels are being depleted, two questions immediately strike us. Will we have enough affordable energy in the near future? And what will we do in the long term? With current energy consumption rates, oil and gas reserves are projected to run out in 52 years with coal in 150. What's more, mass carbon emissions are released when these fossil fuels are burned for energy. Carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere traps the sun's heat because of the greenhouse effect, which leads to an increase in global temperature. Bill Nye, the popular American TV presenter, explains best.
Here, I've got an experiment for you. Safety glasses on. By the end of this century, if emissions keep rising, the average temperature on Earth could go up another 4 to 8 degrees. What I'm saying is the planet's on fire.
Additionally, carbon dioxide emissions pollute the air we breathe. Air pollution in cities have been linked to an increase in respiratory diseases like asthma, along with shortened life expectancy. Carbon dioxide can also dissolve into the sea, causing acidification that harms the life cycles of marine organisms. There are numerous more costs of using our fossil fuels, but perhaps our neighbor species take the greatest toil. Unearthing, processing, and moving underground fossil fuel deposits greatly harm stable landscapes and ecosystems. Indirect effects include the continual depletion of the ozone layer. While CO2 hasn't been found to be one of the agents that destroy ozone, it has been seen that CO2 prevents the formation of new ozone molecules in the troposphere. Let's go back to the question from earlier. What energy will we use in the long term? In order to answer this question, we need to see how we currently use up energy. Let's take a quick journey from an astronaut's point of view of Earth all the way down to New York. In this graph, we can see estimates of the New York City energy consumption. The most popular source of energy came from natural gas, with gasoline and fuel oil closely following. Renewable energy accounted for less than 20% of our energy consumption. Looking at another graphic, this pie chart shows that almost 100% of the energy we use to power vehicles is non-renewable. All this is not to say New Yorkers don't care about their environment, as we have made efforts recently to counteract these growing issues. Our new clean energy standard requires the contribution of in-state electricity generation from renewable sources rise to 50% by 2030. Interestingly, about 1/3 of the electricity comes from nuclear power plants. Though nuclear energy isn't renewable because it requires uranium for the operation of power plants. Thus, even nuclear power won't work for the long term, even though it can serve as an alternative to costlier options. Now, we'll explore the best alternative sources of energy.
For one, wind energy is a reliable source. When the wind blows, huge blades start to turn, powering a turbine that generates electricity. While the wind is not always present, though, these machines can cause environmental disturbances to avian species. Nonetheless, the development of harnessing wind energy is improving with ongoing research. Solar energy is another popular source, because this energy source, sunlight, is the most abundant source on Earth. When photons hit solar cells within solar panels, their energy is captured and stored to use for a later date. Consequences include the high cost of solar panel installment, and lots of space to hold panels. The companies are actively trying to reduce costs, and further research will likely make installation more efficient. One of the most popular options right now is the use of biomass. This is the use of biological matter as fuel or for industrial production, usually crops such as corn and wood. Biomass, though, can release as much carbon dioxide as burning fossil fuels, so it isn't the best alternative. The conversion to biofuels, or biomass converted to energy powering heat and electricity, is a growing research field. Last but not least, hydroelectric power has been the principal renewable energy source in the U.S. In 2015, hydropower made up 46% of generation across all renewables. Hydropower uses a dam on a river to store energy from moving water in a reservoir. Drawbacks include the possible disruption of nearby marine ecosystems, though use of hydropower has generally been a safer option than biofuels. As we lose more and more available fossil fuels, it's becoming increasingly important to make the switch to alternative energy sources. Despite the lingering pressure to act soon, the good news is we're already on the path to a brighter future. Renewable power is booming, as innovation brings down costs and develops better sources of clean energy. From the visuals you see here, you can see our reliance on renewable energy sources has doubled within the last decade. This is a massive achievement from our end. Benefits don't even end here. They stretch out to many other departments. We are opening tons of more jobs to use more clean energy. As more people are allowed into the workforce, we start a positive feedback loop. More supportive policies and investments go into further develop energy sources because we are dropping unemployment rates and making everyone happy. The Earth needs your help in any way possible. We can all work together to make a change and reduce all the harmful effects in our precious planet we live on. You can start by taking public transportation, like the train, which costs only $2.75 for a ride. You can also take a bus, which you could take after transferring from a train. These methods of public transportation all use clean sources of energy and reduce the use of fossil fuels. We've already started going in the right direction with new bills like the recent Green New Deal. If we all take this matter to a high political level, we can get political leaders to set more laws for switching to alternative energy sources. And now, a final message from our favorite scientist, Bill Nye the Science Guy.
You're not children anymore. I didn't mind explaining photosynthesis to you when you were 12, but you're adults now, and this is an actual crisis. Got it? Safety glasses off.
Last but not least, hydroelectric power has been the principal renewable energy source in the
You guys, why are you talking?
Air pollution in cities have been linked to increase in respiratory diseases, like asthma, along with shortened life expectancy.
What did I just say?
Last but not least, hydroelectric power has been the principal renewable... Fossil fuels are not always readily available due to taking millions of years to form. In addition, they can only form under certain cases, requiring dead organic matter from the... Bill Nye, the popular American TV presenter and the host of a variety of educational shows, explains best.
Oh my god, what is this sentence?